What's up, guys? In our previous video we showed you how easy it was to get the Synology RT1900 AC all set up. In this video we'll be going over the Synology Router Manager software operating system, and this is what I would say makes this router so good and so great. Is because it's extremely easy to use. Even if you're like a beginner, I'm not that great at networking stuff. That's not really my forte. So a router like this is perfect for somebody like me, and perfect for pretty much anybody who wants to just kind of, set some, be able to change settings and kind of see what's going on with your router, but not really dive down super deep. So we're here, at our login here. And if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead. You can full screen so you can kind of see everything. And I will log in and kind of show you what's going on. And again, this is a lot different than your typical router management. That's why I like it so much. So when we come in here, we have a couple things, and it's very, kind of operating system like, and this is a lot like their NAS software that they have on their network attached storage devices. So it's really easy to use and makes it really great. So this is just, something that says keep your router updated. I haven't turned it off yet, but we'll go ahead and turn it off and hit OK. So up here we have like real time, what's going on, how much speed's going through the router. We have notifications here, so you can see like system events and things along those lines. We have our options here, so you can restart and go into our options. And then we have a search. So if you're looking for a certain setting, all you have to do is search for it. And then we have a different view that we can go into, which is called Pilot View, which you can only enable when you actually have a window open. And then over on this side, we have our main menu, which brings up everything. So on the main screen, I believe you can actually move these. Yeah, you can add these to the desktop if you want. So on the desktop, I only have Network Center, but of course, we can go ahead and say, let's put Network Tools. We'll add this to the desktop, and now I can easily access it and go in. And what's great about these is if you go in, we can move it around here. You can drag and all that, which is really nice. You can, just access what's in all these settings really easy. It's much better than like the whole website type thing that a lot of companies do. You have to go through different pages and kind of see things. I really like this. It makes it so much easier. So before we go into our different tools and things, let's actually go into Network Center. And this will be all of your settings for your router and everything. So everything you want to set up, you can do right here. So under our main page here, this is our status, and this shows that we're connected, our IP address, gateway, DNS, all that stuff for our internet. You can turn Wi-Fi, the 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz on and off, and all of that. You can see the MAC addresses, all that kind of stuff. What's cool over here is that we can see our upload and download in real time, and it is graphing it, which is kind of cool, and we can kind of see, as we hover over, you can see all of this stuff. Under device list, you can see how many devices we do have connected here, and you can scroll down. And again, if this is too small for somebody, you want to see everything, you can just full screen it just like that. And maybe we'll keep it full screen just to make it easier for everybody who's watching, on YouTube. So, you can see, and then you can see in real time again what these different devices are doing too in real time, which is pretty cool. So you can see all of that. Under CPU, we can see our CPU usage in real time. I just restarted the router, so it's not very long, but it's pretty cool that you can see that. And you can see our memory usage in real time as well, and how much memory we have left and all that. Under wireless, see, this is all your wireless settings. So, 5 gigahertz, we have our SSID set up, and you can set it to show or hide. Same thing with 2.4 gigahertz. And you can go into advanced options and kind of change things around if you want to. Same thing with the 2.4. One thing that the device did do, which I found out down here, is that if you're using a storage device, this is automatically turned on, this interference reduction. So if you want the best speed for your storage device, make sure you have this unchecked. Under WPS, this of course is your, if you want to enable WPS, the router does have a WPS button on it. So you just, press a button and it will send all of the network credentials, so you don't have to go ahead and type them in, And you can set up device pin if you want on there too. So you have that. Guest network, this is great if you're having a party or you don't want to give out your password. Maybe it's a password you use for everything or something. You can set up guest networks on 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. And then you of course have your MAC filter, which you can go in and create, different filters for the specific MAC address that are connected to the router. Under internet, this of course is our internet settings. So of course I have Comcast, so we just set up the auto, set as default gateway enabled. And if you wanted to put in different DNS, you can do that right here, really easy to do. Quick connect and DDNS or DDNS. Don't have any of this stuff set up, but you can go ahead and do that. They have this quick connect, which will allow you to connect your Synology router from anywhere. You have to register for a Synology account to enable that, but you do have the ability to do that. Port forwarding, of course, this will, you can set up port forwarding for all your different computers on there. Port triggering, you can set that up here. Your DMZ, you can enable DMZ if you want. IPv6 tunneling, you can set that up right here. And 3G and 4G. So, you can set up 3G and 4G devices. They have to be like a USB dongle, and you have to connect them into the router. But they do work that way, which is kind of cool. And you can see the supported dongle list if you want to go ahead and do that. Under local network, this is of course is everything to do with our LAN setup. So we have our local IP address, which you can change, and the subnet mask, which you can change as well. You can set the router to, of course, be a DHCP server, which I do, and you can set your starting IP address and ending IP address, the lease time, the default gateway, and again, you can change your DNS just for specific, for LAN specific, you can set that. You can enable UPnP, PPOE, you can set that up, and advanced options you have down here. IPv6, you can enable IPv6 if you want. Static routes, you can set all those up. Go ahead and hit create and go ahead and set that up. DHCP clients, you can see all of our clients that are on here, and how long their lease expires, all that kind of stuff. DHCP reservation, again, you can set this up as well. Just hit add and put in all the information. And then IPTV or VoIP, you can set IPTV or VoIP if you have a specific LAN connection. You can kind of do that and set that all up as well. Parental control, yes, we're not going to save. Parental control, you can set a schedule for allow time and for your devices. So you just hit add and you hit the device name, and the device has to be connected. But we can set, say, like this, our laptop here. And we can say it's allowed to use the internet, at certain times, and you just block off what they're allowed, allowed and not allowed to do, and you can easily set that. It's really easy. I like it how it's so graphical too. So this is great for parents who want to block off internet access at a specific time, and they don't need to do it via software on their children's PC, which is great. So, a lot of times when you do that, the children end up finding the software and taking it off anyways. So this is a way to do it via the router, which makes it really great. And it's by MAC address, so it's kind of hard to do that unless your child knows how to, spoof a MAC address, which doesn't seem that they would. But that's how you set up parental controls here. And we go to web filter, and you can set custom URLs. So if you don't want them to go to certain websites, you can go ahead and change that up. And you can choose from basic filters. So you have block no malicious websites, block no malicious and adult only websites, and block custom websites. So you can set all that stuff up. So really great parental controls here. Under traffic control, you can set up beamforming on all of these to get the best the best quality of signal here. You can set up their speeds, all that kind of stuff. So if we so if I want to set a custom speed, it will turn off network speed promotion. So I'm not going to go ahead and do that. But you have the ability to change all these and really drill down and really set up all your devices. So if your devices are always in the same place, you can always, you can set up the beamforming, you can set up certain things. It looks like you can ban them from the internet, which is cool too. So you can set all this stuff up, and you can set the priority of your devices as well. So if something is really high priority, you can set it in here and go ahead and do that. Under advanced, you have to enable traffic control, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to mess up my own settings. But you can go in there, and then you can monitor, and you can see download and upload speeds in real time and the devices that are actually uploaded and downloading, which is kind of cool. So you can see what's going on throughout the network. Under security here, so you can set up your logout timer for the SRM, which we're in right now, and you have all your different security settings. You have DOS protection. You can enable that. VPN pass-throughs, you can set those up. For a firewall, we do have the firewall enabled, and these ones are that are built in. You can create your own certain firewall as well. Different user-defined rules and things you want to set up, you can go ahead and do that. Auto block, so it will block IP addresses as they continue to try to log in. So if somebody in your network, or somebody's on your network and wants to log into the router, you can actually block them or set up an auto block. Where here it has 10 attempts and they'll be blocked for 5 minutes. So you can do that too. And you have your certificates. You can change and create certificates and import certificates. And then under notifications, this is just all your notification settings. You can enable mail notification service to receive notifications, messages via email, and status changes occur on the system. So you can set, if there's a notification on the router, you can go ahead and set it to email out certain things. You can set SMS services. You can set a push service, and under advanced, you can change the different events. So if something happens, you can set whether it says an email, whether it says an SMS, or that the mobile is the push. So you can go ahead and set all that stuff. And then under administration, you can see the different operation modes. So right now we have it set up as a wireless router. We can set it up as a wireless IP, and then we can set it up as a wireless client. And this, again, very graphical, kind of showing you how it would work or how it does work. So which is kind of cool. So I do like that. Update and restore, you can see your current SRM version. You can see the status update. I believe when you go to this page, it always checks for the update, and I believe it's checking all the time for updates as well. So you can do that, and you can do a manual update, update settings, and you can set a backup of all your configuration, which is really nice. So if you have certain configuration and maybe you need to restore for something or whatever, you can still, you can load your backup in there. So you can restore the configuration or restore factory settings. SRM settings. So if you want to be able to allow external access to get in here and change settings, this is where you would do it, and this is the name you would have set up and all of that. Service, you can enable SSH, you can enable SNMP, all that kind of stuff, and NTP you can enable. Regional options, we have our time, which I definitely need to change. Here we go. And you can set your server address for the time, display language, notifications, all that kind of stuff. Under LEDs, which is really cool, and you typically don't see this on routers, at least I haven't, is that you can have all the LEDs turned on, only status LEDs on, or customize the LED schedule. So if you have this router in your room, or maybe a dorm room or bedroom, you can actually set a schedule. So you can turn the LEDs off at a specific time, because if you're a light sleeper like me, LEDs and things can just be annoying, especially when trying to go sleep. So you have the ability to go ahead and turn the LEDs on or off, and I really like the schedule idea of it as well. And then under usage, you can enable usage sharing with Synology. So that's all of our settings in our network center. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Now, we're going to leave. I'm not going to save my settings. But we can also go into our log center, and this is, again, we'll full screen this, and you can see all the logs here of what's going on, and the last 50 logs here will be right here, and you can see what's going on, and everything like that. You can do a log search, which allows you to search through the log, which is kind of nice. So if you're looking for a specific error or IP address or something, you can search. Log sending, You can send logs to a syslog server. You can receive logs from different devices. Storage settings, you can archive logs to a storage location, which is kind of cool. And you know, I have USB plugged in, so we have USB share there that we can go ahead and do. Notifications, you can set all that, you know, information for your notification rules and your settings history. You can see, again, since I restarted the router, we're not going to have our settings changed. And I haven't changed any settings, but you will actually see your settings change history, which is cool. So if you're not sure what you changed, you can go ahead and see it right here. What else do we have? We have our Synology account. And this is all of your, you know, you have to set up a Synology account, which I don't have yet, but you can do that, and you can see news on what's going on with Synology and all of that. Storage and printer, I guess we can go into that. So storage and printer here. So as you can see, I have both an SD card and a USB flash drive installed. So if you didn't know, this router has two storage capabilities. It has USB 3.0 ports, and it has an SD card reader. And you can see that our partition is not supported for some reason, which we'll have to go ahead and set up. But you can access external devices via the following three methods. So it's kind of cool. So you can set up your USB share, because that one's actually the partition correctly. I'll have to repartition our SD card, but you can set up through the file browser. You can see how it's accessed. You can set this through a web browser. So this would actually be if you're out somewhere and you want to be able to access with the storage that's on there from somewhere else. They give you the URL to do that. And from your mobile device. So for Android, they give you a QR code. For iOS, same thing, QR code, and Windows Phone. All these QR codes to access your storage. You can set up your privileges. So I can, like, you know, I have it set up for admin, so only I can read and write. And you can set it up for guests and things like that. File services. So you can enable Windows File Service, you know, all that. You can enable Mac File Service and things like that. Media indexing. So it can scan for multimedia files such as photos, music, stored on your Synology router, and then index them for multimedia applications. So if you're running, you know, a certain Windows Media Player or different things like that, you can go ahead and change everything. And then hibernation, you know, USB hard disk will hibernate after being active, configured for a period of time. So you can actually set those to do that if you want. And then printer, we don't have a printer. But you can go ahead and add a network printer on here as well. And you can do a, you know, the printer can be connected via USB as well to the device, which is kind of cool. So that's Storage Center or Storage and Printer. Security Advisor, what does this do? So this allows you to kind of go ahead and kind of set your security things depending on what's going on, but I don't want to do that. Can I close this? I don't think I can. So we'll hit Home and Personal, start, and it looks like it's going to update our database here. I don't like it that I couldn't get out of there, but this will go ahead and scan here. So it looks like I have a weak password. So we'll stop this just to stop it. But it will give you all of, you know, your things like, you know, we need to update SRM, we need to do this stuff. So this is great for somebody who wants to keep security up to date and do all those kind of things on here. And Support Center, this should allow us to contact supports via, it looks like our email is not working, but will allow us to connect to supports. You know, this should be able to send an email, and then you have support services, which will enable remote access. So if you're having a problem, they can go in and, you know, help you. And then another cool thing about this is we have, well, let's go to File Station. Let's see what we have here. So File Station, we can see actually what's on our USB share, and I believe we can just we can upload automatically, which is kind of cool. And we can create folders, we can sort, we can do stuff like that, but we can see everything. And let's see if it will give us a live view. Yes, it does. It does give us a live view of what's going on, you know, or live view of the, you know, these are pictures, so we can see the pictures, which is cool. So we have all that. which is kind of cool. So you can do that with the different storage devices that you have. And then we have Package Center. Package Center is on the main screen here too. And if we go into Package Center, we can actually download different packages, or what you would think of them as apps for the actual router. So we have Download Station, which is a web-based download application which allows you to download files from the internet. Media Server provides multimedia service for you to browse and play multimedia contents. This is good if you want to use a very very nice like USB 3.0 hard drive with this, and you want to be able to stream media. This would be great. VPN Server allows you to set up a VPN. DNS, of course, this is for if you want to set up a DNS server or things like that. And then Radius Server is a dial-in user service that you can go ahead and install. So we have all these packages. These are only 4 right now. I'm not sure if Synology will be making more for different things, but it's nice to have these, especially the media server and the download station. Those are definitely 2. And of course VPN. A lot of people have their own VPN set up. So you have all that in there, and I believe that's pretty much it. I didn't go into these options. These are just your main options. So your account name, that's our default user, our password. You can go ahead and change. You can enable 2-step verification, which I'm not going to do, but you can do that. You have other stuff set up, and this is where your email counts. Okay, so that's probably why our email to the what's it called? I'm losing my mind here. Our email to support wouldn't work because we have to add an email account in here. So we would have to do that. But this is just great, great router management software operating system. It just works really well. You see how easy it is to go through. I can go into these. I can, see everything that's going on. I can easily change settings. I, again, much prefer this to say a web-based, settings or a web-based router management. This is just awesome. It just makes me feel like I'm working in an operating system rather than a web page. Everything works really well. It's really fluid. So this is the Synology Router Manager 1.0 software with the Synology RT1900 AC. So if you have any questions about this, I know this video was pretty long, but I wanted to go through everything and kind of give you an idea of what all you can do with the software and what all it entails and all of that. So if you have any questions about this software, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Till next time, catch you guys later.